that.
I'm in a good mood. I don't know why. Hello and welcome to the Retro Detroit Nerdfighters podcast. My name is Ian the Well Informed. I'm here with Phil the Philibadger, and yes, Happy New Year. Sorry
Happy
we
New
did.
Year, Ian.
Yes.
Um, the old saying, that a delayed game is good eventually, but a rushed game is bad forever. Does that apply to us to Cyberpunk 2077 right now? Because it was in development for 8 years. Can you call it rushed?
Um, I say that Cyberpunk tried to kill the consoles, but the consoles proved them wrong. Yeah. if you get the reference.
I don't actually. I'm guessing it's Venture Brothers.
No. Tenacious D, the song The Metal.
Oh, oh, I should have known that one, but it didn't come to me.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was thinking of getting Cyberpunk 2077. It looked interesting. But at the very least, I'm going to wait until all the bugs are worked out and it's at a steep, steep discount.
Yeah, see, like I still have family who still bought it after the fact. Gave them a
After they
gift
knew
card.
the stories. After
Uh, Even after all the stories, they still bought it. And I'm like, why?
I mean, apparently, the reviews still say there's a good game underneath all the bugs and lack of polish, but when I'm gonna give them some time. I got more things to play until then, so I don't have to buy it anytime soon.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I
it,
did just finish Assassin's Creed Origins, but I'm going on to Watch Dogs Legion next. So
uh, so you haven't played Legion yet.
I've started it. I haven't finished it. Probably still in the first handful of missions.
Okay, so is it anything like the other two?
Well, it is and it isn't. It's the same idea. You're playing hacker who's fighting against a corrupt corporation that's kind of taken over. Um, the the Legion, Watch Dogs Legion is set in London, probably in the not too distant future, and some would say, the future that's current right now. What sets Legion apart is that there's no main character that you're playing as. You can switch from operative to operative because part of the game is recruiting citizens of London to join the DedSec hacker group to fight back against Albion, the Albion Corporation.
Is it run by Lex Luthor though?
I don't think so. That would probably be a bit of a licensing headache, although I'm sure there's like a Lex Luthor type figure that's going to be, revealed at the end, but I'm just not that far enough in the game to get a handle on that yet.
Because I have to give reference to the Legion of Doom. That's why I'm
Right,
getting
right.
it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. but but uh, so it looks like a good game,
Yeah, I'm
nonetheless.
enjoying it so far. Some reviews have been kind of not so hot on the no main character, which to me then makes the city of London the main character of the game, and that's definitely come through in some of the folks you can recruit to your cause. But so far I'm liking it. I've been up and down on the Watch Dogs series. I liked, but didn't didn't love the first one because the main character, didn't really. Yeah, he was a hacker, but he played him more like a hitman. in my opinion. Watch Dogs 2, I enjoyed beginning to end, had a much, much, much better main character that I think fit the themes that they were going for in that game. And starting out now, I'm onto London with Legion, and more to come on that as I work my way through the game.
No burning bridges, though.
No, nope.
No burning
Although the
bridges.
game does start with a terrorist type attack that's led by a hacker group called that was perpetuated by a hacker group called Zero Day, which in turn leads the Albion Corporation to kind of take over the city.
That's interesting. Do you
Mhm.
hey, that's interesting from a cybersecurity perspective because uh very good play on words. Like um uh what's it called? When it comes to like cyber threats, we people in cybersecurity or information security focus on trying to eliminate zero-day attacks, which
Mhm.
means that um, the coding or the infrastructure behind the software or computer doesn't get terminated. we try
Right.
to we try to make sure that we have um, zero
Zero day attacks.
yeah,
Gotcha.
because that brings us another way of saying it is like um, you've hit rock bottom basically
Mhm.
at that point. So we try. So no, that's interesting that they named it that. The hacker group Zero Day.
Mhm.
um, so let's see what else.
Do I think that's one of 2020's best moments? What do you think?
You know, you're saying like um, there were good parts about 2020.
Well, some of the games were pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we have stuff like Hades and Final Fantasy VII Remake, and uh, yeah, there were some good things about 2020.
Mhm.
um, but what do we want to bring up right now? Like um, last year's game of the year. Um, Last of Us 2. I know that you played it more than I did, me being I didn't play it.
You
So
didn't. Everything you know about it came from me.
yes. So tell me, do you think that Last of Us 2 was better than anything you ever played?
Well, I still have my issues with the story. Um, strict as a technical achievement and a gameplay achievement, I think it's very, very good. Um, the way that the story's written, I still, I still work, I still think it over. Could it have been done different? Do I understand what the story's trying to say? Which could very well mean that the writers of that game have accomplished their goal. Um, and then the last week I've had in YouTube has suggested quite a few various video essays on The Last of Us Part 2 as a whole, and what does it mean, and does it set out what it achieves to do, and they've all kind of had their varying takes on it, and I find them all to be valid, and it's all appropriate discussion as far as I'm concerned. it might be one of those games I have to go through again to really make up my mind on it. But parts of that game were such an emotionally draining experience that I don't know that I want to put myself through that again.
And I mean, if you play that again, that's exactly what they want you to do. So, yes.
True.
So, I don't have an opinion on this. I just know that I've seen other critiques like Extra Credits and Jim Sterling, and Sterling said that it's a game that got a lot of hype, got a lot of attention, and then 2 weeks after it came out, it got literally nothing. It's just kind of just a regular game, like that gets some attention, and then you go on to the next thing, basically. While there are some games that have a lot of replay value, like Hades.
Definitely. You've gotten to try. You said you tried Hades, right?
I have not.
Okay.
I am going to try and refrain from playing that for a while because there's a streamer that I kind of like that decided to play Hades on stream and then kept playing it after stream, her stream, and played basically 300 hours within a 2-week time period.
Oh, wow.
So I have a feeling that it is very addictive. So
I found it. I don't know that I'd say I find it addictive, but yeah, definitely there's a good story there. I actually haven't played it in a while. I need to go back to it, but yeah, it is. I would like to go back to it at some point and progress in the story. I just get a little hung up on the roguelike elements and always starting back at the beginning, and I find myself I get slaughtered way too easily sometimes, and I get frustrated with it, and perhaps that's the point, but not, not the best way for me to spend my time. But the story is calling back to me that I need to get back to it.
I don't get me wrong, I will end up getting it, but like right now, I'm going to wait and see. Like I'm just gonna wait and see. It's the best thing I can do right now. Even though I've heard and seen great things from that game. But yeah, but I mean, to speak about Last of Us, you still think it's a good game? It's still
Yes, I do.
all right.
Is it game of the year? That I'm not so sure about. If it was a year where we weren't inundated with a pandemic and all sorts of real world strife, I might think a little higher of it. The real world strife right now is kind of makes me want to shy away from a game like as emotionally draining as Last of Us. I stand by my hot take a while ago of, if you must play a zombie apocalypse game right now, play Days Gone instead of Last of Us Part 2. That Days Gone left me a little more hopeful when all was said and done. And both games are worthy of your time. Just know what you're signing up for when you press start.
Yeah, and now what consoles? What are they played on?
Both of those are on PlayStation 4.
PlayStation 4. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, but
Watch
yeah.
Dogs Legion is on PlayStation 4 and 5. That's where I'm playing. I'm playing it on a PlayStation 4. So,
Okay. So all right. So yeah, like to go a little bit off into left field, not too much. Do you, PlayStation 4 controllers, can they be um can they be inserted into a laptop to play games?
um, I know some laptops will work with the DualShock 4. I know they work with MacBooks, I think. I don't know if they work with Windows. I don't know that the drivers ever got released for a Windows machine. I know they work with Android and iOS devices as well. Um, I think you can pair a DualShock 4 with a Windows laptop, but I don't know that all the buttons work like the touchpad.
All right. Yeah.
So
Sorry. You were talking.
no, I forgot where I was going with that. So
Sorry. Yeah, I'm looking to just I got Doom Eternal and
oh,
I got it on Steam. So it's like
uh-huh.
I want to play it with a PS4 controller. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I asked that.
Ah.
Yep, so that's on my to-do list. Um, but no, like what I'm playing now is a game called Age of Calamity, and um not to get it confused with the Guild of Calamitous Intent from Venture Brothers.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's
don't know that one. You said
it's
Age of Calamity, right?
yep, Hyrule Warriors, Age of
Oh, okay.
Calamity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I picked it up. Haven't had a chance to start it yet. Um, did you play the first Hyrule Warriors?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
From what I've played so far, I've um I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of things. I'm
Hmm.
just losing my train of thought. It plays a little bit like the original Hyrule Warriors, but it's m- many less characters than the original.
Right. Uh-huh.
It's faced in the Breath of the Wild universe, basically,
Right.
and you can't you've played Breath of the Wild. You can't fall off cliffs. It's basically most of it is pretty straightforward in terms of the platforming, but there are moves and power-ups and items you can use that are helpful towards certain enemies. It,
Hmm.
um, and it seems a bit harder. It seems a little bit harder than the original.
Hmm.
Each character kind of has their own unique skill set. Like, um, if you're familiar with the bird named Ravali, he's like one of my favorite long distance characters.
Okay.
He's very good from attacking from far
Now,
away.
now in that game, can you play as any character in any stage, or is it kind of chosen for you on a set path? Or
There are missions. Um, you can either there are some where it's unique to that certain character, but others you could have as many as 4 characters in your lineup, and they could all
And you would
it
switch
all
between them, or are they AI, are some of them AI controlled, or?
with this game, like if you're not in control of them, let's say you have Link, uh, and there's 3 other characters. And for that moment when you're playing as Link, they're AI controlled. But when it switches, when you switch to another character, you gain their control.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. And there's of course Zelda and the 4 divine um, the characters that control the 4 divine beasts, among other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And do you need to have finished Breath in the Wild to really understand Age of Calamity, or does it make sense without it, or?
It makes sense without it. Like there are um it doesn't it doesn't it doesn't necessarily give away the ending of Breath of the Wild. At least not
Okay,
right now.
that's what I was curious about. So,
Yeah. It may later, but and for now,
well, I'm not getting to it anytime soon anyway. So,
it's I have a feeling that it is a shorter game, but
mm-hmm.
that there are some elements that are a bit harder than the other. um, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit harder from you have to get used to like a the original you have Link have different weapons as well, if you remember. Or
Mm-hmm.
if you know.
And your
And
weapons
so
don't break in Hyrule Warriors, do they?
no, because what's the point of having a game that um hey that's a kind of a beat 'em up like
Right.
when weapons break you really can't
Right.
there needs to be some consistency to that, so that's a plus.
Right. No, that is good.
Yeah, you can forge weapons into other weapons and claim their attributes. Like one of the funnest attributes for Hyrule Warriors in Age of Calamity is that there's this one power up where if you defeat 100 enemies, your attack power goes up by 2, 3, 5%.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have waves of enemies that at somewhere, it becomes significantly easier over time. But yeah, so what else? So you've been playing Legion, Watch Dogs Legion.
Yes.
What do you
Mm-hmm.
have you been playing anything else?
Um, well, like I said, I did finish Assassin's Creed Origin, and I, I thought it was good. Um, I did try out, have you heard of a game called Immortals Phoenix Rising?
I get a advertisement every like every hour up until it came out.
Oh, okay.
So I hear about it so much.
Uh-huh. But yeah, it's kind of a yet another Ubisoft game that's, big open world. Kind of feels like Breath of the Wild meets Assassin's Creed meets God of War. But and that sounds like a recipe for something I'd enjoy, and I did give it a try. I like it. I'm just can't dedicate myself to it right now because only like to do one story-based game at a time. And right now that's Watch Dogs Legion, but I'll probably move over to Immortals once I get that done,
Okay.
and then I'll report on that. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a good game.
mhm.
It's not that it. From what you said, it sounds like it has kind of a winning formula, but it's still. I don't have time for that game. I probably not going to get it though. even
Mhm.
even
Yeah,
though
you've got to really like the Ubisoft formula to take on yet another open world game of theirs, but um, you can do as much or as little of the side content as you want. Um, I imagine it will be a little bit shorter than Assassin's Creed, but we'll just have to wait and see. More to come on that one as well. Not for a while, but more to come.
all right, yeah, yeah, I wouldn't mind watching that game be played, but
Hmm.
um, don't have time for it. I'm gonna try and save up some time to maybe. The next game on my list is probably after I play Tube. It's probably going to be Hades, but
And maybe by then they'll get Cyberpunk working, and I can feel comfortable buying it.
I mean, the most noteworthy thing about that game is I heard that it can only store like 8 MB before it
In your
crashes.
Yeah, and I also heard they fixed that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Which
think that
is,
was some weird quirk of the crafting system in that game.
yeah. I mean, how are you supposed to
Yeah,
have a?
I mean, I'm still amazed at how long that game was in development, and it still feels rushed based on all the weird stories I've heard about it.
I It was started production in 2012, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Um, I had to have known about it when it. Um, it doesn't.
I mean,
Um,
what were we doing in 2012? Ian, certainly this show wasn't a thing yet.
this, yeah, in 2012, I was. I rather not talk about it here.
Well, fair enough.
Uh,
2012, I was just getting married, and my son was born in 2014, so Cyberpunk 2077 was in development longer than my child, and I think my child is a little more complete than that. No, there's a hot take. That's a hot take.
oh, I mean, in any in any situation, you've always got to play damage control. That's all.
Hmm.
uh, but um, yeah, I don't know. Do you think that it's? Do you think that with that game, do you think it's more on the like development side or the publisher side that things went wrong?
I think it's yeah, I think I think it was a development issue. I think the developers were probably just way too ambitious, and I think they just probably underestimated what the console versions would be able to do. Specifically PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, I think they just underestimated what those platforms were capable of. We know CD Projekt Red's primarily a PC developer.
I
And
mean, they do have a really good hit with a smash hit game, which is Witcher 3.
right.
But it's like,
And I think people forget that, and I had to be reminded of this too. Witcher 3 was kind of a buggy mess when it first came out, but they did eventually get that all straightened out. And I played Witcher 3 in kind of its straightened out form, and I thought that was very good.
yeah, I mean, but for right now, let them get the bugs out and stick to Blu-ray disc instead of CD Projekt Red, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That delivery of that joke wasn't that good, was it?
No, it was
No,
okay.
it was okay. All right.
We won't be upgrading to Blu-ray project then, right? Or DVD project.
I mean, we'll just be blowing off steam as usual.
I blow off steam all the time. I barely have a Steam account, so.
I have a few games on there, but getting more.
Yeah, I'm still primarily a console gamer.
Same here.
Basically, I don't have time to mess with graphics cards and endless tweaking of my PC to get my games to run. That's a younger man's game, in my opinion. I just want my stuff to work.
True. I mean, in terms of wanting things to work, we haven't. I want to keep bringing this up maybe once every month or two. We still haven't gotten any news about Dr. Disrespect.
No, I haven't. I haven't either, now that you mention it.
It's kind of disrespectful on Twitch's end, but I don't know.
Yeah, but is he back? Where did he eventually land anywhere, or is he kind of just out?
I think he's I haven't checked on him all that much. I think he's mainly now on YouTube.
Okay.
He should try to do a James Gunn and get an exclusive deal with YouTube. He should, so that Twitch brings him back. But
right. And then fires him again.
Yeah, but that's wishful thinking on my end. No, like, so what else? What other have you seen or played Final Fantasy VII Remake?
I finished it. At least the part that's been released.
I've heard that there are 3 parts to that game.
I haven't heard anything definitive on how many parts it's going to be. How many how long we're going to have to wait between installments. The first one was pretty well received, so I'm hoping that's, Square Enix can kind of step on the gas and, get the rest of that game out, because I kind of want to see where it goes, and how they're changing the Final Fantasy VII story that we're all familiar with.
Um,
Because if you finished the Final Fantasy VII remake, you can tell they're going to go in some slightly different directions here. I think they're going to keep the bones of the main story, but I think what's on those bones is going to be different, and I'm curious to see where they go.
yeah, and I personally, I'm going to wait for all the parts to become whole and then play it
You might be
because
waiting a while, but maybe by then you'll be done with Hades. So
um, I don't mind waiting a while. I haven't even played the original, so I've waited how long?
since
Over 20
1997.
years. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
23 years. I've waited
Yes, you can wait a
23
couple more.
years. 2 more years isn't gonna hurt me.
No,
No,
it won't.
no. uh, but no, like from people playing it on Twitch and YouTube, it looked like a great game. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the character design for each character. It, um, I like it from an outside looking in.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Um, um, let's see. Have you played Doom Eternal yet? Or
I have not. No, I'm still stuck in Doom 2016, and by stuck I mean having trouble finding time for it. Because when I did try it out and I did like it. It just didn't grab me and make me want to keep going.
I've never when it comes to these type of games, I've never been good at like um first person shooters.
Mm-hmm.
From I've um I've always I've always had an appreciation for um I have a it looks a lot like the Metroid Prime series, and I have a I really like those games quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like that series quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like that, so I'm like, if I can get into that, I can get into this.
I would
Uh,
think so. Did you play the 2016 Doom,
I have not.
or did you went straight to Doom Eternal?
Yeah, I'm gonna end up probably buying the 2016 Doom as well, but I want to see how fast it moves because from what I've heard, it's supposed to move fast.
Yes, the first time I played it when it first came out, I made the mistake of playing it like a stealth shooter. That Doom as a stealth shooter is no fun at all. But when I,
Nope.
I tried it again a couple months ago as a more of a run and gun style, and I had a blast. Still had the issue of it didn't grab me and make me want to keep coming back, but at least I know the recipe for that when I do have time for it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll give it a try. And personally, I recommend it even though I haven't played it yet.
That's
uh,
as solid a recommendation as you can get.
uh, yes, absolutely. Um, but no, like, um, let's get, um, out of games and talk a little more about Netflix. Have you seen the newest season for Cobra Kai?
No, I've not seen any season of Cobra Kai.
Oh, it is.
Because that's the Karate Kid spinoff, right?
It is the Karate Kid spinoff. Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
season.
I wasn't allowed to watch Karate Kid as a child, so
I was not either. I watched it unwittingly as a teenager. Snuck that in
Mhm.
at one point. I'll give credit where credit is due. My uncle plays a whole set it on a different set of rules,
Oh, okay.
so we'll
Just leave it at that.
leave it
Okay.
at that. Um, but no, like season one was good. Season two was bitter, and season three, I would say,
Was kind
it's
of
the
a
best
return to
season.
form. It was
Uh,
a season.
it was better than season two. I'll just leave
Okay.
it at that.
Okay.
It's I'd say it's better than season two, and
Mhm.
that's if you've seen the original Karate Kid, uh, there's a sensei, a teacher named Kreese. He goes by his last name, goes by
Mhm.
Kreese, and he's kind of in this whole universe. He is kind of the main bad guy in all of
Mhm.
it. So we saw some backstory as to why he is, which is very interesting to say the least. um, and that's a little bit of a spoiler, but that's to anybody who's seen the um, who's never seen the Karate Kid movie.
Right. It's not going to mean anything to me if I ever do sit down and watch them, but now,
But
did you have a chance to check out the new Wonder Woman movie?
you know, I have I I have a little bit of a confession to make. I've never really liked like I've never had any interest to see the Wonder Woman movies.
Oh,
None of
okay.
them.
Mhm.
I've seen stuff from Justice League,
Right.
um, a, like the animated stuff, but
Right. Uh-huh.
like but none of the like the dedicated Wonder Woman uh,
Right. Okay.
movies. No, I've seen more of Captain America than I've seen of Wonder Woman.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I was just going to say, kind of in the same way, it sounds like Cobra Kai season 3 was a season. I think I can give probably the same assessment to Wonder Woman 1984, which is to say, well, that was a movie.
Hey, what do you think of it? I've had a lot of mixed reviews from people.
Uh, well, like I said, it was a movie.
It was a
I don't
movie.
know that it had a hard time getting through it. It kept putting me to sleep, and I don't know that I'd want to see it again.
I wonder why.
I see what you did there.
Yes. um, yeah, like nope. I mean, if I if somebody invited me, I would go watch it, but
Hmm.
not very interested for some reason. I don't know
Okay.
why.
Well, it's all right. It's all good.
um, So there's Cobra Kai, and um, it's funny. I just recently got Netflix again,
Uh-huh.
so I ended my subscription in August, and right when I left the subscription, Agretzko had a season 3.
Yes, it did. That was a very good season, in my opinion.
I even know, I didn't even didn't even know existed, and it's the type of thing that I tried to do research on about
Mhm.
um
Yeah, I mean, I didn't find out about it until it was like getting ready to premiere. So,
I even hear about it, but then again, August was when I had 2 jobs
uh
and 2 classes.
yeah,
So
you didn't really have time for much else.
I didn't have time for much else. So so that could have that more than easily could have flown over the radar, but
Mm-hmm.
or crawled under the radar. Or you get the analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um,
Sure do.
no, very good season.
So
I
you did go back for it though, then, right?
I was like, I was I saw Netflix news. Oh, I finished Cobra Kai, and then right as I finished that, it says Agretzko, um,
Oh,
new new
new
series,
season.
a new season, and I'm like,
Ah.
how is this a thing? And so I was like, oh, I have to marathon this as well. Thank you. but that was that that third season was not as cringeworthy, and I say cringeworthy in a good way
Hmm.
as season 2. The cringe needed to be there.
Yes, I think it did.
Yeah, because you had yeah, because then you get into the family politics of things, and it has to be relatable, and family can very much complicate things.
Hmm.
Yeah, in any case. Um, but no, I would say third season is really good,
Hmm.
especially characters like Haida and uh, um, I don't want to give away any spoilers, at least in this episode. So maybe I'll say the new characters to the
Hmm.
series. Um,
Right.
yes,
The ones who may or may not be back for season 4, right?
they
Probably won't.
absolutely they absolutely need to be like, especially the guy who I won't say any more than this, cleans windows.
Right.
um, but yeah, I had a blast with that, especially like every time someone went to go sink. Um,
Hmm.
um, but what else? Um, Talked about Last of Us. Um,
So tell me about the Weary 101.
I was just about to talk about that. Hey, you're familiar with me talking about Team 4 Star, correct? and their series,
Team 4-star. Yeah, I think so.
and their
Yeah, it rings a bell.
and their series for Dragon Ball Z Abridged,
Yep.
and Dragon Ball Shorts. So one of their main co-founders, one that's names himself Takahata 101. He's kind of he's like the favorite for me in terms of personality. He's decided to do VTubing, if you're familiar with that.
No, actually, I'm not.
VTubing is has a lot of how should I say this? There isn't a lot of there aren't many people who are using VTubing like in North America or in the, should I say, the West. It's mostly used by like Eastern content creators for YouTube and Twitch. So Taka 101 was reached out because he's done a lot of voice acting within or at least I think it's done a lot of voice acting within like Japanese anime, and also been a voice actor for one of the games for Dragon Ball Z. And so he decided he was going to do this VTubing thing and make this thing on Twitch called the Weary 101, which is kind of this like this makeshift bar that you can set up for like a certain amount of money. You can pay to have him make you a drink, a virtual drink that and that's all fine and good. And there's copyrighted music that he got the rights to use as long as they as long as he promotes their music. And the main music for it is from a group called Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
From a game called Valhalla, I think. And so it's should I say, a lot like it's nothing I've ever seen. It's not something I'm familiar with Twitch, but it's I would say that it's worth seeing from an outside looking in. It just I believe that he has like the personality to pull this off, and it seems like a good concept from the outside. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've personally never seen anything like it before, but it seems like a good it feels like a good place to just network with people and have some drinks, and that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I personally I can't explain it really well right now. It's something that you'd have to see in order to
It's something you'd have to see to understand.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I think our last thing that we want to bring up, and we have a couple minutes to do it. What did you think of what were like the best moments you feel about 2020? Because
Um,
because going forward, I will do my best to not talk about 2020. I want to be like, what happened in 2020 stays there.
it's like kind of like Vegas, right? What happens in 2020 stays in 2020.
Yeah. First rule about 2021, don't talk about 2020.
Mhm. There we go. I like that. For at least when all things were getting started and rolling down, I did like the feeling that all of us as a society were in for this, flattening the curve together until there was a large vocal minority that decided that they were over it. So, which is just making everything worse. But I did like that short-lived feeling that, hey, we're all in this together, so let's act like it.
Yeah, that moment's reprieve. Um, and I mean, out of 2020, there are better games, especially especially like Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing may not have, it was the game that landed at just the exact right time.
Yeah, they couldn't have planned that better if they tried. But yeah. Yep. So we need to do our outros. Phil, where can we find you?
You can still find me hiding in my basement, but putting on my mask to go outside.
Fair enough. You can find Retro Detroit Nerdfighters podcast on SoundCloud, and you can find me at informed.com, informed with an A. And as always, let's make 2021 a better year. I
We're only 3 days into it, so we don't mess this up for us, folks. Wear a mask.
wear
Wash your
masks,
hands.
wash your hands.
Don't forget to be awesome.
Don't forget to be awesome. Make the world suck less, and in a few weeks things will get better, for sure. Right, Dave?
That's the game plan.
That's the game plan. All right. Thank you. Take care. I'm not doing Bob's intro. Outro. All right. Thank you.
All right.